Hey everybody. So I had to cut the other video out a little bit. Well, probably about three quarters of it. So it looks like the mic. I'm using the second one now. I probably should have charged it. Never charged it since I received it, but it was a good feedback for me to learn from these. So we'll see what they are on fully charged. But at least it lasted, I think, about 40 minutes for whatever battery percentage it was on. At least from what I can tell, I can't tell how low or high it is. There doesn't seem to be an app to keep track of it. So uh, I think it was around 6 minutes or so, and then the mic gave out here. It looks like the green is when it's on, um, but it didn't notify me with it plugged into my phone here that hey, it's dead, so no audio. So that's unfortunate because I got a little bit on a rant, but um, about, well, mixture of things with child support, dating, and taxation, taxing us to death, even taxing us after death. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and I was touching up on that, and I didn't even know this thing was out. So my bad. So I'm just gonna mash that 6 minute segment into my part one because it seemed like that's all there from what I can tell. When I go through edits, and then we'll go from there. Um, just thought I'd give you guys a heads up on that. Uh, I think I might put this at the intro or towards the end of this first video. But that depends on how long you guys want to stay tuned to the video, because I know it gets boring after 30 seconds or so. So I think most of my click time is 30 seconds to a minute or so, um, unless it's myself watching my own videos to make sure it's okay. But it is what it is. You know, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and go from there. And yeah, hope for the best on that one. And if you guys have any recommendations, I'm all for it. Kind of want to help, please my subscribers in a way, give them decent content to consume, um, rather than hearing a working to a 33-year-old man, in the Midwest anyway, or the flyover state or something like that. So, uh, yeah, hopefully this little extra few minutes after that no audio part kind of sucks because I was like 15 minutes extra that I'm gonna have to cut because there's no audio. You don't hear anything. Um, so that's a little drawback. If I have that adapter here plugged into my phone with this thing, then I there's no audio unless I put music into it. Unless I was showing in what was I was walking around. Unless you guys look at the background. But you can let me know. But I'll put it to where it's going to be edited to where that 6 minute and then or 6 7 minute whatever it was, and then to this, or I just put it in the beginning of the intro to the video, and then have you guys just watch it back to back, and then there would be like a cut point, and then I'm in different parts of the town. So very windy town, I would say. Uh, but yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with what's going on with the country and that, and then the state of Iowa. I mean, even here and just like everywhere else, the rent itself has gone up on a lot of places in the cities and that. Or thankfully, where we're at is fine, but it has gone up the last couple of years. Uh, we'll see what happens. And then the car insurance, I think we're gonna have to look for alternatives because it's starting to get up there too. And then I hear property taxes, or not property tax, property insurance, home insurance is going up or has been, and some of them have been outrageous, several hundred extra dollars, and they filed no claims. So, and I don't think it's considered a hazard zone, but then again, we are in a, well, could get a tornado any moment, and whoosh, we're off the face of the map. and they'll be like, oh, there was that one town in that random remote state, or what you call it. So yeah, and but yeah, uh, if you guys can like and comment down below, or just whatever feedback, your life circumstances and that. And then I think the engagement will help the channel grow even more or get more viewers. Um, Even though it's kind of been me posting, hey, just, you know, come on, join the symbiote army in a way. So, uh, yeah, it's about getting close to 6 minutes. So, I think I'll cut it off here, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video content. That whatever should happen, I think I'll just mash the two together and put this at the intro. So anyway, till next time, take care, everybody. Bye bye. Hello, hello, hello. I'm doing another test. I'm testing this new mic out. It didn't work for my sister's phone and that for her recordings. So she said, here, if it works for you, then go ahead, have at it. So yeah, I did test it out indoors, but on this 20 some mile an hour wind, figured what the heck. We'll just see. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to zero in and block out the wind and that, focus on my voice for more clarity, but we'll actually see. Even just a slight touch on the mic gets ruffled up, so we'll see how it goes. And on this random vlog today, God, it's been a minute since I've actually done one of these. Yeah. It's like, what is there to talk about? And yeah, about your guys' life experiences. How's 2025 going? For me in particular, since I guess the trend is just talk about life or whatever random thing comes to mind, work related, dating related, the economy and that. I wouldn't say my channel's for economy advice. No way, no how. Bit of a simpleton there. Try to see what would work, and I guess to see what would stick. If it's just me just rambling on random things, then so be it. Or on my gaming portions, I almost thinking about studying like a gaming channel only, Venom Gaming, and then Venom Vlogs like this one. So I think trying to mash two different things together would it be a bit of a mix-up or confusion. And for me, I don't want to cause confusion, but have everything centered on one channel makes more sense for me. It's less headaches in a way. And yeah. But yeah, leading into, we'll see how Trump does, and for his presidency and that. I think we're around 50 days since he took office, and of course, a lot of trade wars and all that stuff for negotiations. So it's best just to wait and see how things play out rather than jumping on the handle. Rather than having a fast reaction to it, just wait and see. I think it's going to bear fruit. If not, then well, he's not going to be able to run again. So might as well just keep all the promises, whether it's popular or not. I would say it is, since several extra million people voted for him which I voted for him as well, to go for office. And yeah, because I think he did a good job last time around and couldn't get much done because there just seemed to be no middle ground in a way. But what I can relate to is like from just a Midwest guy in Iowa in particular. So like convenience stores and that, I think they're doing about the usual. The prices on certain things aren't helping, and of course for wages and that, we tend to be very understanding on, you got to make a living, so prices have to be fixed accordingly or adjusted accordingly. And I would say the heaviest hit would probably be our manufacturing, so like Kenzie's, John Deere's, kind of like the main heavy ones around here. I'm sure there's a few other ones. I know there's several welding places. I'm sure they're doing fine, because welding is always a must, especially tractors and that, and the farming state and that. Agriculture's big here. We rely on that heavily. But the one thing I've noticed, well, it's been a few things, but I've been kind of keeping on the DL or down low, is how many farmlands have been going for sale around in Iowa. I'm not sure if you guys can relate to any others outside of Iowa, so like Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Missouri, or Illinois, and that factors. So when I went to the O'Hare Airport in Chicago, there was a lot of farmland available, several extra acres in that, and I didn't really think too much of it because Illinois is not really, prefer not to go there as much as I want to, but the airport there offers the cheapest, flight to international flights anyway. My local ones are like double the price, and I kind of prefer to save money if possible. And that being said, in Iowa, there was this, I think the last 2 to 3 years, unless prior to that, I just didn't really pay attention to it since I don't farm. But I've always wanted to help the farmers out a little bit, and I can for donations and that. But there's been a lot of farmlands that's been like for sale, quite a lot. Even around my neck of the woods, it just seems like every other town has multiple farmlands available for auctions and that. And I think there was a video from Tribe of Men that I watched. There was a lady that bought a section in the farmland. I forgot how many acres and that, but she bought it for like very good price, and she built her dream house there, and doing very well. I think it was around Tennessee. I could be wrong. I can't quite remember the details on that. But that was quite interesting, where you can just talk to the farmer that owns the land, negotiate a certain section, and then the farmer's making money, well, a little bit off the land here and there. If you do monthly till it's paid off, or you just pay it out outright rather than monthly payments, I'm sure they'll work with you, and it'll help the farmers out so they don't have to sell all their land, or if their siblings and that don't want to take over the lands and that. That's about, other than like, there's been lots of layoffs at Kenzie's and John Deere's, at least around here. And I think there was a few meat packing plants in Iowa that got shut down or laid off a lot of people. It's just due to all the stuff, like in terms of they don't have enough meat to process things. Prices is probably the main thing. The supply probably couldn't meet the demand. So prices got way out of control, and so they had to cut some losses there. And I would say that's hit us pretty hard here. Other than like convenience stores and that, or gas stations, Casey's is dominant in the Midwest. Of course, then you have Come and Go, I guess, Slash turning into Maverick from Salt Lake, Utah. They bought Come and Go as a whole, and you've got Quick Star and BP and that. And I think they're doing okay, but like restaurants and that, I don't go to the cities too much unless it's like Costco or something for the eggs, for the better bang for the buck. No, I try to avoid the cities as much as possible. I try to buy locally. So I think we used to have one of those farmers markets we used to have around here. And I think the closest one would be either Kelowna. I don't think I have a city. Watcher, maybe. But I think Kelowna or Wellman, they do have it once in a while. And it's just with work in that, I drive almost past it. And it's almost like, if I time it right, I can be able to buy some corn, sweet corn. Go from there, help them out locally, especially cucumbers. I like those cucumbers. And let's see. But for my job in particular, I think we're doing okay. We're continuing to build more stores and that, and helping oversee one and management and that. And yeah, I think we're doing okay. And at least as a whole, I think we're on the we're doing pretty good in that department. At least so far this year, hasn't been like a whole lot of hours working anyway. Oh, sorry, there's gonna be dust here coming here. Just yeah, it needed rain. It's pretty dusty on the gravel roads. Let's see. I wonder if we should go. Yeah, we should probably just go straight here. We'll see how it goes. Not too many traffic in that department. Otherwise, let's see. In terms of the dating aspects, in a lovely relationship with my cute Filipina. She knows who she is. And yeah, it's crazy. It's going to be almost working towards 4 years soon. And the whole thing going forward is the eventually moving over there. That's the plan. At least my 20-year plan. Hopefully sooner than that, and then I just hear my stupid voice or something like this, and going from there. And then hopefully more like historic sites in the Philippines. I know there's several things to take in mind before you just leave everything and go over there. Hopefully to have some property over there that we can rent off to some people at a decent price for them in their local currency, and then build our income that way, and then have a nice selection of properties that'll have bring us money, and then the YouTube channel hopefully will be my main surplus with some stocks and that, and the savings account. Just letting it sit there and build more and more, and then withdraw it. Hopefully in 30 years or so, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, in terms of like staying here long term, I'm almost checked out of the United States, but the currency in that is just too good to just abandon it entirely. But it's a good way to get creative and live where you're appreciated, which thankfully Iowa's not too, I wouldn't say divided, but certain polls would say that, especially in the news media, they do lean left, which is just ironic because I do lean left a little bit, but I mean, compared to that would be a moderate right or something like that nowadays. It's like, well, you're not too far left enough. It's like, no. I believe everyone should be taxed at a decent rate, that's not gonna only benefit a certain class, which, all in all, the ones that pay the majority are the higher super rich. They pay 60 some or 70 some percent of all the tax collected is the super rich. And corporations shouldn't be exempt. They should be paying even just 15% or something like that. There's some that don't pay any federal tax, which is stupid. Everyone's got to contribute, corporations especially, but they buy out the politicians mostly. And it's on both sides too. It's quite obvious. Their salaries don't match what they actually leave office. They're multi-millionaires. Insider trading? I don't know. Call me stupid, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened with definitely on the right and the left. Even those libertarians like Bernie. Only $1 million from the businesses. Is like, well, okay, you still took money from corporations, ding dong. Yeah. But yeah, it's already at 15 minutes. Yeah, probably just gonna hold it here. Maybe do another one on the other side. I don't know, just wherever it takes me, I guess. But please, yeah, everyone, just do your due diligence. If you're planning on relocating to another country, learn their culture. For me, it's the Philippines. But for you, it might be Thailand, it might be Singapore, or anywhere in Southeast Asia, where they'll actually appreciate you as a guy. Maybe with Trump, stuff will get back to normal per se. We gotta wait and see how it goes. I guess I'm an optimistic. We will see. We will see. And sorry if you hear the wind. Hopefully the mic cancels it out. But any rubbing against, it's gonna make some ruffle sounds. So, but yeah, I've been so far. It's just been the Philippines I've been going to. I do want to go to Thailand and that eventually, but I want to find some roots in the Philippines. And we're very close to having a section there, and going from there. And then a family soon. And marriage. Oh gosh, yes. But at least it won't be in the States. But she and her family are very family oriented, and they take it very seriously over there. So yeah, building our success together. And it took because even the first time, it was just to see if there'll be any connections in that, and then the second trip really made us cement that yeah, she's for real for long term. And yeah, special shout out to you. Yeah, hopefully you guys like today's vlog, and more to come. Yeah. Unless you prefer the shades off, let me know in the comments below. Alrighty. Bye, everybody. All right. Take 2 of, or part 2 of this vlog today. Yeah, I guess there's a big storm coming later around 4 o'clock Central Time, I guess. Main storm's in Oklahoma or something heading this way. So I figured, what the heck, get the other one locked down in that. But to touch upon a little bit on the part 1 of the vlog video from, well, whenever it gets uploaded, I suppose. Testing out this new mic here. Yeah, it came with 2 pairs. I forgot to mention that. The other one's at home, but I'm not doing an interview, so maybe sometime. But we'll wait and see how it goes. But yeah, there was the the one plant in Ottumwa, or my Giamoto or Cargill had some layoffs as well. I forgot to touch up on that. Just didn't think of it at the time, but it's just manufacturing or plants in general have been laying off people. Um, it's been hitting hard here and there, and I also forgot Amana Whirlpool. I heard potentially they could be closing up this year alone. They just have not been able to get contracts in that, and they're having a high turnover rate. And I'm not too sure on their hiring practices, if they're hiring Americans in that. I don't really know on that to say. Just from what I've heard from a few of my friends that work there, I'm not sure if they still do. It's so out of touch nowadays. But even like a couple of years ago, they were mentioning like most of them hardly spoke any English. And of course, this has been corresponding with a lot of plants in that over the last, 2 to 3 years or so. And it's just been a continued trend in that, not too good in terms of growth and more, more income for the state anyway, at least in Iowa. And yeah, we'll wait and see how. I think they're moving towards. I guess we'll wait and see, but it is a heavily Republican-dominated legislation, and for state legislation anyway. And let's see, I think that we're going to pass something that's hopefully not for raises for Kim Reynolds in that, and then laying off teachers. But I don't know too much details on that. I just hopefully it's something minor and it's just getting overblown, because it seems like anything with right and left, it gets way overblown, and it's like, well, what's the middle? What's the actual truth, not the half truth that the right and left tend to use, so they don't tell you the whole truth. I just wish you got the whole story up front in that, but it's so hard. It's so hard to even get some honest reporting. It's the traditional news media. That's why they're dying off. They're almost irrelevant with all their salaries in that, and they just spew what their, partisan ways rather than being impartial. Rather than using an emotional lens, if you use some logic here, it's like, okay, if we're in a deficit, we're going to have to make some cuts. Can't just give all these freebies out. There's got to be, at some point, you got to tighten the belt. Or if you've never worn one, you better, it'll look a little professional if you wear a belt. There's a few out there that that requires a belt while working, but if it's covered in that, then so be it. You do you in a sense. So, yeah, hopefully things are on the up and up with the state legislations. I think they're trying to get rid of property tax in that, unless that was Florida. I know Florida, I think, is moving towards eliminating property taxes. But state income taxes, I'm not too sure. Although it's not much that Iowa is taking out of our paychecks. Now the federal one, that one takes the most. My goodness. And Social Security and all that stuff. And then they're talking about raising it to like 70 years till you can get your full retirement pension. It's like, you guys just want us to work till we die like a couple of like sheep waiting for slaughter. That's essentially what you're doing. Milk us dry and then take the dry milk and sell it to a pawn shop or something. Say, yeah, this was overused flesh and meat at one time, put a lot of hours in. What can I get out of this? Something like that. Or just, screw that person, or over here, and the select few get to reap the benefits and that, and just a large disparity in that. It's crazy times. And like, if I just stuck what mom mostly did, mom and dad, growing up, we would watch ABC News and that. And then as you got older,